Welcome to the Prioritize You podcast, your go-to for connection and support in your journey of prioritizing your health in the chaos of motherhood. I'm your host, Brittany, health, fitness, and nutrition coach and mom of 3. I've navigated the depths of postpartum challenges, and through personal experience and 15 years of professional experience as a health and fitness coach, I was able to develop practical systems and frameworks to not only stay afloat, but to thrive physically and mentally. It's called the Prioritize You method. Say farewell to the pressures of perfection and restrictive routines. No more guilt, no more rigid regimens, no more burpees, just a compassionate space where self-love and sustainable practices are the goal. It's time to rediscover your energy, enthusiasm, and confidence as you take on the most kind and gentle journey of prioritizing you. Let's do this. I'm right here with you, promise. Today's episode, I'm going to share with you 4 things I'm focusing energy on to just navigate the right now and get out of the burnout of motherhood, to be honest. And I wanted to share these with you because I think it's just really nice to hear other ideas from other people and other moms that are living the life that we're living, and kind of see if you can apply some of those ideas to your life and build off of something that I say and really just use it in a way that serves you and your right now. That's really just how human behavior works. So we're going to use that to our advantage. Really excited to share these 4 things because I put my little own spin and health and fitness coaching lens on literally everything. And I can't wait to share this stuff with you. Also, holy crap, this is episode 1 of the Prioritize You podcast. Wow. Even just saying that is so crazy to me. And I'm so pumped to be doing this because I've been talking about podcasting for literal years. You can ask my mom. I sent her a logo of the Prioritize You, or actually I think it was the Project You podcast that I had thought about years ago. And now here I am on the Prioritize You podcast. And it's, oh my gosh, it's just finally here. I feel like I've always had just a really good way of sharing information and making things in the realm of health and fitness, just making things make sense for people. And my clients always tell me, oh my God, that never made sense until you said it and the way you explained it. And so I just really hope to continue sharing useful and usable tools week after week with you here on the podcast. Okay, so let's dive in. Here we go with 4 things I am doing to work through the burnout of motherhood right now. Rule number 1 that I am kind of stealing from my mom a little bit because she always said this when we were growing up, and now I get it. As a mom, so many things are making sense, right? You're like, oh, that's why she did that. Oh, that's why she would yell at us about that, But for this one, it is don't do something twice. Don't give yourself something else to do. And so how I kind of think of this, and when I think about it a lot, is when I am changing a diaper. My little one, Nova, is 16 months old right now. And when I change her diaper, well, first of all, let me just pause because she's so wild. She is absolutely a wild child. Our third, holy crap, a run for our money. So right. When I change her diaper, if I were to just set that down after I'm done, set the dirty diaper down next to us, it would be either gone, hidden, torn apart, destroyed. You gotta get up and get it away from her. And so there's kind of 2 options, right? I could get up and put the diaper on the back of the couch where she could maybe not reach it, or up on the countertop, or I could not give myself something to do later, aka throwing the diaper away. And I could just get up and throw it away the first time. Because truly, what is it? A couple more steps? I'm already getting up, right? So don't give yourself something else to do. I also think about that a lot with our recycling. So we don't have a recycling spot or recycling bin in our house. We just have the one in the garage that you pull out to the end of the driveway. And so we have this spot right up above our garbage can in the kitchen. It's on the countertop. A lot of times I'm like, okay, well, I don't even want to sit the recycling stuff there. I'm just going to go walk over and put it in the garage. Because the other part of this little rule, the don't do something twice rule, is if it takes less than a minute, just do it. Like, again, the goal is to take things off of our list, right? Like, as a mom, we already have 1 million things on our to-do list. We do not need more. Instead of doing something twice, or instead of adding something that's so small, it can be done in less than a minute, instead of adding that to my list, I'm just going to do it. Oh my gosh, it's just huge, right? Like, don't give yourself anxiety. I know myself. I'm an anxious gal. And instead of letting things pile up and like creating stress for myself, I'm just trying to get the things off the list, because the list is going to fill up no matter what, right? Like, we know this. But I don't want to keep small things on the list. I'm just going to keep big things on the list. So I just am trying to do all the small little crap and just get that done with, so that just the big important things can stay on the list and I'm able to work through those as I go. But the little things are getting done day to day. Okay? So that's rule number 1, kind of 2 rules. Don't give yourself something to do by doing something twice. And if it takes less than a minute, just do it. Now, the second one here is something that I'm confident that you've heard before, right? You've heard the quote, choose your hard. When you're deciding to prioritize yourself and your health and your fitness, you are likely going to be faced with hard decisions. That's kind of something that is for sure going to happen. You can't really go into the journey of prioritizing yourself thinking, this is going to be easy. I'm never going to have to make hard choices. That's just not realistic. So you have to kind of figure out a way to get to your desired outcome and decide what hard decisions are you willing to make right now. So here's an example of this for me right now. If you follow me on Instagram, you know this because I've been sharing about it on my stories all the time. But I have been getting up early to work out at like 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. Like, that's when I get to the gym, is around 5:15, 5:20. I'm home by 6:30 a.m. every single day. And that's hard, right? Like, it's hard to get up in the morning and do that, get out of my warm, cozy bed. It's easier right now because it's summer and it's not freezing cold like the dead of winter, but it's still hard. But here's the thing. It's not as hard to me as leaving the house during my workday to go to the gym. I know that sounds funny because when I was working for somebody else, whether I was working at somebody else's gym, working for a larger company, when I was working from home for a larger company, it wasn't hard. It was like, oh, it's time for my break. Out the door, let's go to the gym. Now that I'm working for me and doing every single aspect of what I do, even the parts that I don't like, I like because I'm doing it for me only. I get to create this podcast. I get to coach and lead moms every single day on their journey of prioritizing themselves. I get to experience that journey with women. I love it so much. Like, I literally am in love with my job. So to leave that is harder for me than it is to get up at 4:44 a.m. My angel number girlies, you get it? I just had to choose my hard. One thing that made that decision easier for me personally was that, like, one aspect of my goal, just another general goal, is to get up before the chaos, right? Like, get up before my 3 kids. So it was a double win for me because I've tried waking up before the kids just to have time for myself and eat my oatmeal in peace and drink my first cup of coffee in peace. Yes, I said my first cup of coffee. That's just not enough for me. Apparently, like, having time with myself is not motivating. I don't know why. It just isn't. I wish it was, truly. But here's the thing. Getting up to work out early, that is motivating to me. I love exercising. I literally love it. And so if that is a motivation that I need to get up before the chaos, like, it all just kind of comes full circle together, right? What kind of pushed me to this was, it's not like I wasn't getting all my workouts in during the week, but I caught myself like, oh my God, I gotta work out, And I feel the effects of not working out. I feel it in my emotional health far sooner than I feel it in my physical health. And so it was kind of this trigger for me of like, all right, I gotta kind of figure out, like, how can I make this workout stuff happen for me? And so again, just going to the gym in the morning was the less hard choice. And so again, what you need to do is figure out what maybe 2 choices that you have. Which one is better in your eyes? Which one is not as hard? Because when you make the decision to make the hard choice, you're far more likely to follow through with that than if I were to say, hey, you should get up in the morning before the chaos does and get your workout in. It's a really good idea because it starts your day off great and you're going to wake up with energy. If I tell you to do that, you're far less likely to do it than if you make that hard decision because it's your choice, right? Just like for our kids, well, I know that all toddlers are the same. Like, I'm going to give the example. My 5-year-old daughter, she has these like shiny, sparkly princess heels that she insists on wearing. She literally wore them for a walk last night around the neighborhood after dinner. And I was like, oh my God, but whatever. We didn't give her the choices, so she made her own choice and she was happy with her choice and whatever. If we were going to be going for a really long walk, I would have said, hey, Olivia, here's your 2 choices. These tennis shoes or these tennis shoes, right? Because I don't care which one it is, but it's going to get me to my desired outcome. So I want you to think about it like that for yourself too, is like, how can I get to my desired outcome? I can do route 1 or route 2. Which one feels better? Which one is less hard? I'm going to choose a hard thing, but I'm going to choose it. And then you just pick. And then you see how it goes and you experiment. And you just week to week decide, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Or day to day, this is what I'm going to do, right? So, okay, choose your hard. That was a rant, but I get really passionate about this stuff. I wish you guys could see me right now because I'm like sitting up really tall and I'm violently talking with my hands and I'm just so into this. I am pumped about podcasting, you guys. Okay, number 3. This one is very personal to me and I think that maybe you'll relate because if you're listening to this podcast, you are likely a woman, you are likely a mom, you likely have kids, and you're planning all of their crap all of the time. And so this one is huge, all right? I am currently planning social events for sooner rather than booking them out in advance. Because if I book things out too far in advance, I am likely going to let my anxiety ruin it for me. Like straight up, I'm gonna let myself ruin it. And I talked to a client about this and she deeply resonated with it. She was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to try this. If I book out a play date or even just anything for myself, like far in advance, a couple weeks or more, not only will I build up like a ton of anxiety about like, oh my God, this is what I've got to do. I've got to pack my bag. I've got to do this. And it's not like I'm not excited to like see my friends or have a play date with the kids, but there's just so much that goes into things. And I get anxious and start over planning and overthinking it. I come up with excuses for why I should and could cancel. But here's what I'm doing. If I book out for just the next couple days or look at the calendar and see where I'm at in my cycle, I kid you not, I will plan it for that. And then I'm in a better energetic state when I'm making the plans and when the plans are going to happen. When I am just after my period or I'm ovulating, tend to be a little bit more high energy, right? More social, feeling like doing all of the things. And if I plan something out for like a week, week and a half, 2 weeks from then, I'm going to be like deep in my luteal phase. I'm going to be about to get my period. Okay, well, at that point in time, I literally want to be like a hermit and never speak to anyone ever again. So for me, I have figured out, all right, I just need to plan things for either like if I'm in an energetically like high social feeling mood, I need to just plan it for the next couple days, or I need to take a look in my Flow app and see where I'm going to be at my cycle when I'm planning something so that I can feel good and not try to talk myself out of it. Okay? Maybe you relate to that. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I just feel like that has been really helpful for me when it comes to planning stuff. We're going to just move on. Okay. So the next thing is rule number 4 or idea number 4 is not asking for what I need, but just stating it. And I think that this is maybe going to be a little bit of a polarizing topic because therapy tells us that we have to ask for what we need. We need to ask for the things that we need in our life. And to me, and in my situation, that just kind of points out like what I'm not getting and what isn't happening. And so I've found a better way for me to just like feel better and get things off of my shoulders. And that is just stating my feelings and my needs versus asking for them to be met. And I want to give an example of this. First of all, I want to like preface it by saying I love my husband. Okay? I really, really do. But if you are a parent, if you are a mom, you get it. Like parenting with someone else who has different thoughts in their brain and different ideas in their brain, it's hard. Parenting is a challenge. And I know I don't need to explain that, but I just wanted to like throw that out there for anybody who's feeling a little judgy today. I do love my husband. But Troy and I are like the yin and the yang of expressiveness. I am likely one of the most dramatic people ever. And I mean dramatic in the sense of like, I'm very expressive. I talk with my hands. My voice fluctuates a lot. Like, I'm a highly sensitive person, okay? I'm enthusiastic. I'm all of the things. I've been a group fitness instructor for like 15 years, okay? So like, you get it. Sometimes I find Troy's lack of enthusiasm and lack of expressiveness really challenging, especially when I'm in my luteal phase, like I was referring to earlier, and when I'm having PMDD, right? Like things can get a little bit more challenging. Like I mentioned, I'm a highly sensitive person. And so as an HSP, I react quite viscerally at times to the people around me and their energy. And I can like struggle not to match energy sometimes. So like you roll up and you're pissed. Okay, well now I'm pissed. Oh, you come and like you're having a great time. Oh my God, me too. That's really hard when you live with someone who's just like not high energy all of the time. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just hard for me. So all of that to say that Troy and I were talking the other day and I told him something. Like it wasn't like the most exciting thing in the world, but he had a really flat response. He had just been having like a really expressive chat with the kids. And I like reacted inside of my body to how he talked to me. And instead of saying to him, can you talk nicer to me and not be such a dick? Which is honestly like something I've done before. Like I've said that before and it didn't go well, right? Because like nobody wants to be attacked like that. So instead, the other day, I said, hey, when you respond to me like that, especially after you've like just been really expressive with the kids, it impacts me a lot and it really just doesn't feel great. And I just said it. I didn't like have any expectations. I just like let it be gone from my shoulders, you know? And I don't really know if it's done anything for my relationship or for him per se, but for me, it's just like taken that stress off or like, I don't know, maybe the expectation off of him coming back with like a compassionate and empathetic response. Cause I think that's what I'm wanting when I like ask for my needs to be met. Like I'm looking for compassion and empathy, but I know I'm not going to get that in the moment because that's just not Troy's initial reaction. It usually just like takes him a little bit longer to absorb things when I say things like that, you know? And so it's been better for my mental and emotional health because it's out of my brain and now I just get to move forward. And then maybe later when we come back and have a conversation, he's like, oh yeah, sorry. Like I didn't even notice that I was kind of flat with you, like my bad, you know, then we both feel better. So I don't know, like that's just, again, like something that's like very personal to me, but it's helping me. And again, it's so different than what therapy tells us to do or what therapy has told me to do. Because they're always like, oh, well, you got to ask for what you need. Well, for me, I feel like I just need to state what I need instead of asking. It works better for me. And this is my journey. Holy crap, you guys, like this is a wrap. Those are the 4 things that I'm currently working on. I would say honestly, like almost daily to get through just this season of life right now. Like right now, these are the 4 things that I'm working on. And I really hope that you got something useful out of this episode today. I hope that you come back and listen to more. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for tuning into the Prioritize You podcast. If you got something out of this episode, it would mean the world to me if you would screenshot this and share it on your stories or just share it with a friend. Just imagine if we could all prioritize our needs as moms. I just feel like the world would be a better place if moms were more well taken care of. And if you feel like, oh my God, Brittany, I need support like right now, I get it and I've got you. Go to my website and fill out the coaching application and let's get this process started. All right, I'll see you all on my Instagram between episodes. I'd love to hear from you. So send me a DM and let's chat about how you can start to prioritize you. And maybe I'll just create an episode around any questions that you might have. You can also leave a rating and review on iTunes. It really helps me get this message out there and connect with more moms who are in this same position as us. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next episode.